All right. Hello, everyone. Today's question is asked by one of the candidates, and they're asking me, why do I get a gap somewhere around here when I place the matrix band? Now, there can be a number of things, and we'll discuss all them. Let's outline all of them. One thing we want to make sure whenever you put the matrix band, and assemble your Toffel-Maher and everything is good. And if you see a slight gap here or here, that is okay. However, as soon as you put these wedges on, that space should be nicely, tightly closed. If it's not getting closed up, that suggests that there's a bit of an error. That's open space, the composite's gonna flow in, cause that overhang, excess, all that problem in the contacts that we don't want. So whenever we place the matrix band, we want to make sure that space and that space where the tooth and that contour of the matrix band meet is nicely closed in, so there's no excess running through down there. Now, making sure, do the following points. Number one, always use a new matrix band. Never use the old one. Always use a new matrix band. So we're not talking about the Toffel-Maher, we're talking about the matrix band, the band itself. Use a new one. Make sure it doesn't have any creases, bends to it. Otherwise, no matter how good you burnish it, that one crease, you won't be able to correct it, and something will allow that space to remain open and the problem will persist. All right, so first thing, always use a new band. Second thing, which is very important, you assess two things. One is your tooth, the adjacent tooth cannot be damaged. If your adjacent tooth is damaged on the side, no matter how good you try to place that matrix band in there, the contour will never be accurate and you will end up getting problems again and again. The third thing is you want to assess and make sure that you want to see how much gap is present after you do a bit of a cavity design. Is there more space here, less space here, or is it more space here, less space here, or is it a bit more on the equal side? What this basically guides us that if there's more space here and less space here, you want to put that wedge in here first, close that space, put that next wedge, this one, and even if you notice in my case where I've posted this photo, this wedge is going more in. This is a bit out because I was focusing after seeing how much space I have that, this is gone completely in, close this space, and then this one, it doesn't have to push completely in. Just managing accordingly to close this space, and you get a bit of a contrast on both sides, the space is closed. So do that. Assess your space and see if it's too much space, too less space. Certain situation, I might just put a wedge here. I don't do any wedge here because the contact here is already too tight. So I just need a wedge here. I don't need anything on this side. So it depends on the scenario. In ADC, you never get perfect teeth. So these are the things you need to improvise. The final thing that I would say that you should notice is your cavity design. If your cavity design is good, everything falls into place. If your cavity design or the cavity that you've prepped for your resin composite is poor, no matter what you do, it's not going to work. So work on these following points from number one, to use a new matrix band every time. Number two, make sure your adjacent teeth is not damaged. Number three, making sure assess the spaces. If there's how much space is there, how much space is there? Is it more space here, less space here? Is it equal? Is it no space and a lot of space here? How do you interact? And then your cavity prep design. If everything aligns together with these 4 points, everything should be better. If it doesn't, then reassess and make sure you are focusing on these points and it should work for you. Let me know if it's working after assessing with these 4 points, and then let's discuss further.